back to the Telos of Tech podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The stars have aligned. The internet is working. There are no issues.
You better knock on some wood there, Drew.
I have some wood right off camera. You can't see it, but it's there.
Never mind.
Hey, Randy, what is up with you?
Oh man, I love technology, guys. I got up. So I got up a little over an hour ago. Just,
Cutting it close.
My time.
We're recording at 5 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're so disciplined. And as I'm like setting up everything to get ready to record, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I go to YouTube just so I can have something playing in the background as I'm setting up my lights and stuff. And then all of a sudden I realized that like it just load, and then it says you're offline. I'm like, what? And my internet went out. And what's frustrating about the internet going out, as Nick seemed to have forgotten, is I'll just use over the air LTE. I have no signal here, and so I have the T-Mobile 4G.
You were texting us somehow.
I know. I was like, dude, somehow you're texting us.
Yeah. So we can send iMessages. I think there was a bit of a latency that was going on there, but there was no way I could do a video audio. So I called my internet guys, and I was
How
like,
did you call them without internet though? That's my question. Did you get out the phone, the home phone with the little
the smartphone
story
has this hidden feature called phone, and what you can do is you punch in these numbers in a certain sequence, and it will connect you from your line to another side without needing any internet.
So is that a bit like a FaceTime call?
No, because FaceTime is not done over cellular; that's done over internet.
Cellular is internet.
No, it's not.
But you're using the 2G network is what you're internet.
Saying. Yeah.
Wait, two people said something.
You were FaceTiming over internet though.
Right now?
When you first called with audio and you were like, I'm on the phone with them trying to get it to work.
I didn't call you guys. I texted you guys.
No, you were talking to us.
Oh, no, I called you
before the video shut up.
I got off their phone with them by then. Yeah, by that time.
So it was working?
After I got off the phone with them, they basically, as we were saying off before we started, they did a fancy turn it off and on again.
There's a giant switch.
It's a very big one that causes your thing to turn on, reset, turn on, reset. It does a whole boot up sequence a couple times. You would have thought that my internet was getting OS update the way it turned off and on again. It was rebooting real quick. So yeah. So one thing I'm actually looking forward to, this is tech related. One thing I'm looking forward to is I'm hoping the next place that we go to, if we stay in the United States, that I have good
Mars.
Stay on planet
I hope
Earth,
Mars. I hope Mars has good T-Mobile signal, because if they do, if I have good T-Mobile signal, then I can get rid of the booster that we have that plugs right into our modem, and I'll switch to Mint, and two,
Yay.
I will.
They upped their data plans.
Yes, they did.
That's amazing.
Oh, Ryan
for
did
free.
It again.
Not
Ryan
a sponsor,
Reynolds.
but thank you guys.
Yeah, it's so great.
That was nice of them.
My fear is that if I go somewhere that doesn't have the good T-Mobile signal, I think I have to switch carriers, and that's sad because I like T-Mobile. But this is an example where it's like no internet actually affects everything, because I rely on it to give me the signal booster.
Could you imagine if your ISP was just like, no, you don't get internet today. You've been on it too much this month.
There is a data cap on actual, like, on internet.
Ooh.
There was on ours. We pay for the unlimited tier.
Wow. I have unlimited too, but nothing's ever unlimited.
Oh, yes.
I guess
it's unlimited.
I get over a terabyte of download, and after that, they throttle extensively.
What?
Mine's unthrottled no matter how much we use. And the base plan is like you can use up to a terabyte, and then after that they just charge overage fees. But then you have to pay an additional like $30 a month to make it unlimited. And now we use, I think, over 3 terabytes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 3 terabytes sounds about right there. Yeah, my internet's very slow and it's very expensive, but it is unlimited. So I guess I should count my blessings there.
I have 1.1 terabyte data plan. It says.
Oof.
With a gigabyte, 1,000.
How do you even download all of season 2 of Dickerson?
What's Dickerson?
Dickerson? What is it?
What's Dickerson? Wait, what did you call me?
What's the TV plus show that we hate?
It's Dickinson.
Dickinson.
Nick.
That's it.
You call yourself a Dickinson fan.
I am far from that.
I'll just show you guys, but that's how much data I've used on my comp so far. But the cycle.
You should upload and download
January
more
through
things.
February. Yeah, that's not too much.
No, I'm almost at the end of the period.
Did you see someone? I think it was Ajit Pai was on the record saying that 3 megabits per second up is enough for most households.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, "How dare you,
How
sir?
dare you?
How
dare you?
Your big coffee cup."
Yeah. You know what, Ajit? This coffee mug is enough for most people, but then there's people like you.
It's like
who need the giant.
We have to drink
mug.
this giant. Man, it's funny. I'm sure there's a very good amount of people who don't know what we're talking about. That guy's.
Well, remember when we thought the internet was gonna
go away
because of net neutrality, and then nothing really happened
because of that guy? Yeah, then nothing happened.
The guy.
I was gonna tell you guys. I wanted to still hit on Mint Mobile really quickly. Just the overall underlining principle.
You're a married man. You want to hit on it?
I want to.
Ouch.
For Ryan Reynolds, we listen.
Oh my gosh.
Listen.
He's on my fridge right now.
Everybody.
I'll get it.
Every marriage, as he gets it, every marriage has a list.
Okay.
And where Brittany will excuse us, and I will excuse, and for Ryan Reynolds, I get a pass.
Ryan Reynolds is your hall pass. Okay. Well,
he would be my hall pass.
All right. If that's what you want to spend
There
it on.
it is.
Wow.
Look
right
at
there.
that.
Look at those glasses.
He's delicious.
Oh.
I just
Make
want
sure
to
there's no
drink
address
him in.
I'd like the record to know that we have pictures of our family on our fridge, but they are all smaller than this.
So what's
on the back for those audio listeners?
Yeah.
It says Cherry and Bright have taken the year off, introducing the 2020 appropriate, reflective, and moody Mint Mobile holiday card.
I love
Ryan
it.
Reynolds.
I love it.
That's perfect.
I want more of these in the mail. That would be great.
Would you prefer those over voicemails?
Yes. Voicemail I have to pull out of my phone and play it for people. Whereas if I just had a full fridge full of black and white Ryan Reynolds pictures, that would be quite the conversation starter.
So
I would
so
be
someone's
like, is that
so
an extended family?
So you're a Ryan Reynolds fan? And you're like, no, I actually don't care about Ryan Reynolds.
Is that your second cousin or something? Is his sister dating your cousin or what? Where's the bridge here? No,
He's
I'm a
welcome
customer.
to. I would be fine with that. If he wants to date my cousin, I'd be like, you have my blessing.
He's welcome.
For
to
those
date
who
me.
didn't know, they increased all of their data tier plans by around 30% across the board. So the 3 gig plan is 4 gigs, 8 gig plan is now 10 gigs, 12 gig plan is now 15 gigs, which means I'm going down to the 4 gig plan because only reason I was going with 8 was because I felt like there were a few months when I was using more than 3. But now that 3 is to 4, I'm like, I could get by with 4 probably. So I'm going to try it, see if it's an issue. If it's an issue, I'll switch back up. But
So the thing about Mint Mobile, which I think is very genius, is they remind me there's this online only tech sector that is working off the backs of the foundation of the first wave that came in decades ago. And with Mint Mobile, it's coming off of T-Mobile, and T-Mobile it has their infrastructure that's set up, but has opened it up to let these other smaller companies, these essentially like startups that can use their network. And what's great about T-Mobile that I like, now let me preface this by saying that I acknowledge that T-Mobile's not the best carrier within signal strength in the United States. So,
how dare you?
I mean, hey, it's facts don't care about your feelings. So,
no, really.
But
the facts are it's pretty subjective.
I can tell you. I can tell you objectively, up in the mountains here, Verizon will never lose a signal strength out here as opposed to T-Mobile.
I've had many places Verizon was not available.
Well, as a person who hikes,
for the record,
good for you.
I'm so happy for you, Drew. Now, can you take that excitement and bottle it up because I don't want to hear it. When I was hiking around the Rocky Mountains, all of my friends were on Sprint or T-Mobile, back in the day, or even AT&T. And yeah. I'm hiking up in Rocky Mountain National Park, 2-3 bars the entire time, and I'm just like, thank you, Verizon.
Yeah, but even though that's the case, more often than not, though those situations do happen, more often than not, if you're in even a bit of a more rural suburban area, you will still have signal with T-Mobile. And what I like about T-Mobile is that these other little companies that start up that are online only, and they let you jump on and they open up for them to get on, they don't put them on they don't throttle their downloads the same way AT&T and Verizon do. So if you for my visual, for the people watching on YouTube, here's your antenna tower that you have here, and they will obviously have AT&T will be at the top with trying to get the widest range to shoot out. Thank you guys, follow along. And same with Verizon and then T-Mobile and all stuff. But with T-Mobile, they don't let, unlike the other guys where they'll get lower on the scale and they have to pay more to climb up the tower, you can get top tier downloads the same way as T-Mobile. Thank you for following along, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys,
my hands were kind of bored.
So, yeah. So they allow companies like Mint to be just as good with their own little quirks and stuff. Where T-Mobile supersedes them is they'll give you you get an hour of fly go whatever the thing is called online or in the air. You get international calling and internet usage for 5 gigs a month. You get just a little bit more. You get Netflix on Us, as they call it, and they have all these T-Mobile Tuesdays, and so that's where they try to incentivize using their carrier. But if you don't need all that stuff, I just need internet and a phone. Something like Mint financially makes a lot of sense, and they keep coming in and kind of innovating a little bit in the sense of how they price things out. And having Ryan Reynolds as majority owner of the company, I think, is a smart business move as well. And I think about where all that kind of leads in other sectors. Nick and I use the bank Simple, which unfortunately is shutting down. Yeah.
They're shutting down?
They're shutting down.
Dumb BBVA, I'm moving my business somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Because BBVA...
I did not hear that.
They're merging. The company got sold, and so part of their acquisition...
I knew those interest rates were too good to be true.
No, their interest rates are now not great, but... Yeah, ever since...
Still higher than most.
Still higher than most, but
that's what I'm worried is going to happen with Mint, is when a service comes out and the price is so good and it's such a great deal that you're like, man, I wonder how they're making a profit.
Well,
and then
the
you
only
find out
reason
in a
why
few years,
Simple
we weren't making a profit.
How can you afford this? I can't.
We can't. The same thing happened at Movie
Pass.
Movie Pass. No, that's their fault for letting that happen. But Simple...
That was my first thought whenever someone pitched to me Movie Pass. They were like, one subscription a month, you could watch as many movies as you want. How do they make money with that? We can't.
We don't.
We're bankrupt.
Why would we make money?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but Simple, the parent company was BBVA, and they got bought out. So that the new company's letting them go. So unless T-Mobile gets bought out, I think Mint is safe. But my point, though, is that these foundations of these other more veteran industries that have been around longer than 2005, I guess. Whenever we started getting smartphones slowly incorporated, all these other companies were built around the mobile experience first. Mint Mobile is strictly, you can go on the .com, but you use the app as their preferred way, and you go on there, and then there it is. Simple Bank, same way. I think of where Apple's genius comes in. I think of like Apple Card. It's online only. These online only small businesses in that utilizes tech. One reminds me that like this is why tech is the future in every sense, because it's part of everyone's life. Because it's not just tech; it's tech that helps carriers. So audio and phone calls and everything that has to do with that industry, communications. It helps financial industries. It helps, medical to a certain level. Everyone last year had to do some type of over-the-air, or not over-the-air, but internet Zoom call thing with their doctors to talk with them. So it's crazy how we innovate in a way that now what used to be the business a couple decades ago, they have turned themselves into almost like infrastructures and not so much, hey, buy my product. It's like use my service, and it's another indicator of how services is the business model going forward for everything. And I don't hate it. I used to think like, oh my god, I have to subscribe to this and that, but it opens the door for things like Mint Mobile or Simple at the time, and now Chime is like another one, and so all these other little businesses that come out, and they get really competitive because now it's a new industry, and it's a thriving market, and it's something I'm appreciative about.
Have you guys heard of Visible?
They're a Verizon MVNO.
Have you thought about switching to them at all? Because
not yet.
I'm not willing to try them because I'm not a crazy cellular data user, so I'm not like I need unlimited. It's like no, I could get by with 4 gigs a month. That's fine. And they don't really have much cheaper than Mint on that side of things. But if your main focus is using Verizon's towers and having unlimited data, I've seen a lot of people recommend Visible, and I'm not willing to try them. But I know Nick is in an area where Verizon's very useful. And
I actually looked at Visible for quite I took a hard minute and looked at it a while ago. A hard minute. It was a really difficult 60 seconds there.
It was a really diligent 60 seconds. I was just
Visible. No thanks. They're cheaper. I believe their plan is $40 a month for unlimited upload, download, text, all that fun stuff. And they're on Verizon, they're one of the very few Verizon MVNOs. Most of the MVNOs, mobile virtual network operators you find, are on Sprint or T-Mobile, which for me is absolutely terrible because Sprint and T-Mobile here are worse than at Randy's house when his booster isn't working. So too soon. So
I look calm and collected, but I'm still coming down from my frustration.
Just put a smile on that face and hide the pain. Hide the pain, Harold. So Visible, the biggest thing keeping me away from Visible at the time were two things, and now that we're talking about it, I need to go take another hard minute and look at it. Because the two things that were stopping me from doing Visible a while ago were they didn't have Apple Watch LTE, and they didn't have hotspot data. Or the hotspot data was really slow. One of the two. I can't remember. Either way, it was like, I can't use that.
Really?
Really slow. That sounds
maybe it was like 128 kbps or something. But anyway, so now my total usage has kind of changed how I use my phone. I used to always have the cellular plan on the Apple Watch, but for about a year,
I can't.
You literally,
I literally can't now.
Lucky you. So I'm now wondering. I'm pretty sure I pay $55 with Verizon a month after I get all of my. I have my whole family on it, so maybe I need to look into switching us all to Visible, because I don't use hotspot as much as I did. Like honestly, my iPad's connected. Yeah. I have decent enough internet.
I think it gets cheaper when you get a bunch of people on the.
I'll have to look at it. So yeah, I need to take another hard minute and get back with y'all because thanks for bringing it back up. 5G. They don't have 5G though.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting.
They do have 5G.
Then fine.
One of us was the T-Mobile NVMO guy, and then another one of us was the Verizon NVMO. It's like, here's how you get off.
Here's
the
how
big
you leave
carriers.
the big carriers. You
Welcome
still
to
get on a big carrier, but you don't pay them directly.
Exactly. You pay the guy who pays the guy and gives you a better deal.
Anything's better than the People's Operator, which is now defunct. I did look that up a while ago. I did, for you deep divers who listen, I believe, episode 25, where I was talking about all of the MVNOs that I've used in the past. There was that one MVNO that was literally just one guy running it, and every time I called for tech support, it was, "Hi, Greg. You forgot to bill me for the past 2 months. Would you please run my card?" Okay.
It sounds like episode of Portlandia. Where
I love that
Fred
show.
Armisen tries to start his own provider. He's the single staff member. Keeps everybody for one tower.
Oh, that's such a good show.
I know. I love that show. Speaking of shows, I got my TV Plus. I guess we're all getting TV Plus free trials extended again.
Looks like I get to see season 2
No.
morning show.
You're gonna get to see the first episode of season 2.
Am I wrong to assume that is a bad sign for TV Plus success?
When I saw that on Twitter, I think it was with you, Randy, and we just looked at each other and we just laughed for 30 seconds. No explanation or lead up. We just saw the headline: Apple TV Plus extended till July or whatever, and I was just like, oh my gosh!
And it's like a crescendo of laughter. You keep laughing harder and harder.
I looked at it. I saw it. I go, "Hey, Nick." He's like, "What's up?" We just got extended to July. Oh!
Do you think this is the last extension?
I think it's gonna be free forever.
They keep pushing it back. Like 5 years later. Oh, we've extended them again. Please don't cancel.
They know people will cancel. They know.
I think they have to, especially looking at some recent data collection an agency did, and they said Peacock was at 6% market share and TV Plus was at 3%, and that's only counting Peacock Premium. That was not counting the free tier of Peacock, which means it would have been even higher. So I think it's because we're all Apple fans, and in the tech community we all hear about people who like TV Plus or talk about TV Plus, but that's because we're all big Apple fans in the first place. But outside of the tech community, something tells me TV Plus is not that well known.
I mean, the amount of advertising dollars they sink into my Twitter timeline is astounding. Every single Twitter ad for me is TV Plus, Greyhound, Dickinson. Dickerson? What was it?
Nope.
Dickerson.
It's Dickerson now. We're
Dickerson.
permanently changing it.
Season 2 of Dickerson.
Just Photoshop Nick's face onto Felicity Jones or whatever her name is, and call
Someone
it
in the
Dickerson.
comments fix that for me. That's funny.
Dickerson.
What a wild
night. Wait, what?
My hope is, my deep down hope is that all of these services Apple has launched and put so much time and money into just completely tank.
You call yourself an
horrible,
Apple
and that forces them to go back to making crazy, like, wacky hardware. Like, they start reviving
the perfect
they make a car,
cubed
they make
Mac.
I am ascending.
Yeah, they do the Mac. They diversify the Mac lineup even more so, and the Apple Watch gets crazy. They have some like cuffling versions, and they have some little just watch band versions, and they have to go all in on hardware because they just cannot make the services model work. That's my dream.
Well,
probably won't happen. But.
No, I think services is going to stick around because they still got an amazing cloud infrastructure set up.
They just got to ship lower and lower storage configurations on each iPhone. Get you on iCloud.
What's interesting is their attempt at trying to. Okay, let's put things into perspective. They made the announcement of Apple TV Plus in 2017.
19. March.
No. When did they actually say this is the thing we've been working on?
It was 2017 when there were a lot of rumors and Tim Cook confirmed that they hired some Sony executives and stuff.
Oh yeah, they started hiring people in 17.
So that's them riding the high of finishing the acquisition of Beats and doing Apple Music, and we've seen this play out before, and. You know, funny enough, they can't let this go. They won with music.
Oh.
They won with music over a decade ago, and then they won again. Well, they didn't win, but now they're very competitive with the streaming part of music. But they are known for music and iTunes. iTunes is a known name worldwide, and now Apple Music. But they can't let go of this TV thing. Since Steve Jobs called it ITV and was like, no, you can't use that name. Ever since, like it was always a hobby thing, but they always kept trying. And the same time we heard those rumors of them making their own stuff, they were also trying to get with networks and do streaming. And I remember them coming in kind of. I remember reading this report about Eddie Q marketing the Apple TV, what's now known as Apple TV Plus, and looking for somebody to like, hey, maybe get like a partnership going with one of these other big production studios. And on the other side of it, they were like, Eddie Q / Apple comes in here acting like they're grander than life. Like, well, we're this known commodity and this, that, and the other. And people were kind of turned off by it. And I kind of feel like this is, for whatever reason, this TV thing is the hill that they want to die on, when I feel like they've hit speed bumps every step of the way. And it's
to die on it.
And it's more than just getting no names to come in and make content for them. It's like that Fire Festival thing that happened. There's many examples of where you try to get known names that people will show up and like, but hey, so and so's doing this or so and so's there.
Like Justin Long.
Just bring back Justin Long. That's all we need. TV Plus will succeed if they do an entire TV show just enough. Justin Long and PC Guy. That's all we need.
But that's not enough to just have these known names. You have to have you have to be good, especially because Apple TV Plus came in so late in the game. Why should I care? Why? I even if I was to pay for Netflix, I get a better bang for my buck out of Netflix than any other service, and they know that because they've been around the longest, and they have good quality stuff there. And the stuff that's not originals, they have great things that they're picking up from other people, like Schitt's Creek or something like that. Like, these things are great. You have a great passive experience on Netflix. Apple TV, I mean, I can't tell you I had fun. I keep trying to find a reason to use it. My Apple TV is unplugged right now.
It all comes back to finding a show that you deem worth paying that monthly fee for, and some people have found that, and good for you. I'm happy for you, but I have not, and it has nothing to do with the price. They could charge 1 penny a year for it, and I wouldn't do it. If it's just the difference of paying for it and not paying for it. Knowing it's free is one thing, but knowing it costs money is another.
Knowing that you are making Apple financially hurt, it's like voting with your dollars, but in a way that makes them hurt. So, if they're going to give it away for a penny, I know for a fact it costs Jennifer Aniston cost much more than a penny. So maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Times are tough.
Jennifer Aniston
Got to get work these days.
Doing it for a penny. Okay. I think as long as they're giving it for free, I'm going to keep it. And I'm really thankful I didn't cancel my subscription, because I almost did February or beginning of January, because my bill was due on the February 1st, and I was like, have so many reminders not forget. I'm glad I didn't.
I'm thinking about canceling
I'm 100% going to cancel it anyway.
I mean, before the July thing, before the extension, just canceling it, just to not even think about it. Yeah, we were trying to find something to watch on it the other day, and we were just like, no.
But hey, Dickerson, season 2. Woo! I have no idea. It's just all on my Twitter feed.
I don't know.
Dickerson. Yeah.
I just hate all the ads.
You know what I would pay for? We've talked about it before. If Apple came out with their own original of Apple Park, and you show me a documentary style series of behind the scenes stuff, that is worth my time and my money, just to peek behind the curtain. Even though it's polished production and it's obviously would be very scripted in the sense, maybe not by people talking, but by what they're going to reveal. But just to understand Apple from that point of view, I would watch that. I would wait until the whole season's out, and then I'd pay for it. But they would get money out of me that way.
Pay for Apple ads.
Ouch. Ouch.
iAds was a thing back on up to iPhone 6 or 7 or 6S. Then they stopped doing iAds. They had their own in-house
iAds.
Yeah, that was a thing for software developers. When you put apps out, if you make it free, you can run these things called iAds, and that's how you were able to do. That was their way of competing with Google AdSense, but then they shut it down. Yeah, I would pay for something like that. But the thing is, and here's my taste. I'm not the biggest fictional guy, as much as I get very creative in the mind. When it comes to like doing something passive, I want to be educated. I find more entertainment in that sense. I don't. Not to say, like I said, I praise. For example, Schitt's Creek was something I watched and I absolutely loved it, and that's not nonfiction. I mean, it'd be funny if it was nonfiction, but that's. I mean, there are exceptions to it. Mandalorian. I just finished watching Dexter. I can watch Office or Breaking Bad, so there are exceptions to it. But generally speaking, I like nonfiction, documentary style. Making a Murderer, the American whatever killer next door. But those are thrillers too, so that's why it's like ooh. But it's something that's true. Documentaries though, the minimalism documentaries that come out, like I'm all about those things. Tiny homes, I'm all about those little things and stuff like that. But if you did that about Apple Park, or even old, like I said this before, old school stuff. Go back to One Infinite Loop and let's talk about the original. Let's talk about the
G3
original
Mac Cube
design.
The G3 Mac Cube.
Huh? No, I was going to talk about. No. That's too far back. Something more modern. Something a little bit more relevant. I was thinking more in par with like let's talk about the engineering of the first
Apple Watch.
The thing. No, not Apple. But that's a good one. I was gonna say like Apple TV, something more niche that would cater to Apple TV Plus, like the original Apple TV. Let's talk about show me why and how. But
it's like the Apple book
exactly.
in
I
TV
can't
show
read things
form.
Apple. I can't even read your pictures.
I wouldn't know that because I never opened up the book.
I've seen a turn through. Someone
we saw
bought
it
it
in
and
person
just
at the
showed
Apple.
every page.
That's
and
hilarious.
I watched that.
I've never seen it.
Oh yeah. In other news, I saw Apple
really?
Park last week. FYI, we went up to a hike and we
You
saw
got
the
out your telescope
donut
and you're
everything.
like,
That was cool.
there you
That was fun.
are.
Yeah, that was one situation where I was like, oh man, I don't have a telephoto lens. Dang. Like zooming in with the 12 mini. I was like, oh dang, we've reached
The
that
one-
situation. Wish I had a S21 Ultra right now to take a picture of Apple.
That's what Samsung does. They stand on that mountain every week and take pictures trying to figure out what their next project is.
They should do that in an event. That would be wonderful. They go up to that hiking spot we went to where you can see like the whole Bay Area, and they just take out the Ultra and they zoom in on Apple's headquarters. They're like, wow, look at the detail.
John, it looks like we're making AirTags next week. All right.
Look at the detail.
I can see exactly what we need to copy next year.
Look at that. No charging brick. It's kind of genius. That's actually kind of genius.
They
Write that
zoom
down.
in. Wait, they're removing the brick. Cancel
Too
that
late.
tweet. Cancel that ad.
I already sent it.
Don't keep that up.
I already sent
It's already
it.
been sent.
I already paid Twitter for a month of the ad. Oh, no.
Oh, my.
Yep. Oh no, that's not good.
That's
You know
funny.
what news story I wanted to save for this podcast specifically, just so it's so meta. Rumors are Apple is reportedly developing a
I
paid
saw that.
subscription
Oh, my
podcasting
goodness.
service.
Apple. My
What does that
price
mean for us?
is less than Jennifer
Apple.
Aniston's penny. So, hey,
We're guaranteed to be
Guaranteed.
cheaper than Joe Rogan.
very much so. Slightly cheaper, $49 million.
It's free, everybody. Free. Oh.
If you don't like the ads on our podcast, they could go away if we join
Yes,
Podcast
actually,
Plus, right?
Apple, please.
Hey, Apple. Somebody who's listening to this from Apple, you put us in your commercial.
We
are
were
worth
at some
something
point,
to
right?
you.
Yeah, you put us in at least one ad. Mm-hmm.
You can't take
In
that
fact,
away.
we will not sue you if you include us in Podcast Plus. They did not ask permission to use
I
our
know.
artwork.
And
in that
I was,
iPhone 11
thinking
commercial,
of
so.
suing, but seeing how that lady who I know I was gonna
They've
say
been
that lady
sued
who
for much
said
worse
my phone's
or
not-
less.
I wasn't thinking of suing Apple. I wasn't. Pick me.
I would never sue you, Tim. Don't worry, I love you too much. Please let us on your exclusive channel.
Craig
From a consumer
or whoever,
standpoint,
Eddie.
would you guys pay for a podcast? What I'm confused by that is I don't really know of many podcast subscription
There are a few.
services. Is that a thing?
Here's the thing. Joe Rogan is free on Spotify. He loves to remind me every time I watch a clip on YouTube. But he's free. You don't even have to pay for Spotify to watch his stuff. And even though I have a premium Spotify account that I'm not
Me
paying
too.
for,
Ooh,
Me too.
freeloaders.
I still get the same ads as everybody else.
Yeah, they don't do like an ad-free thing.
There's
with
no ad free, so
podcasts.
it doesn't matter. But the service is there. I'm sure in some twisted way, because Apple went through this whole thing of splitting up the three, we're gonna get Apple Music and Podcasts and Apple TV under the same service. Even though they're three separate apps, I'm looking at them on my desktop right now for macOS. They split
They
them.
could call it something crazy like
That's
iTunes.
a perfect name.
We could call it like, hey, tune in. Come tune in. Let's call it
iTunes Plus.
iTunes
Pro
Plus.
Max XDR.
This is the whole circle. They're like, we're splitting up iTunes.
Every
5 years
history
later.
repeats itself.
We're
I
bringing
am
back.
so excited, and I am so
gonna have
proud
Ping.
to announce that we're bringing all.
They're bringing back MagSafe, SD card readers, iTunes.
They're fixing it.
Ping. Oh my god.
We'll have Ping again.
So
New social media network from
yeah,
Apple.
so I think I don't think it matters if it's free or if you pay for it or not. I feel like for them to compete, because Joe Rogan, love or hate him, that's the staple and that's the representation of the business model for other people to kind of follow. And you know, Spotify did the same. Or was it Audible? Because Audible does podcasts too now. No, it was Spotify. Spotify did the same thing where they did an exclusive with Michelle Obama, and she has a podcast.
Yep.
And I think she's free as well. So
I cannot think of a single like paid podcast service.
yeah,
for the
to
record. I've
my
never
point,
seen that.
Known names you don't have to pay for still. What you're paying for is the ad-free Spotify experience on the platform, not necessarily the shows. And that's kind of YouTube-ish, you know? Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's how YouTube is. But that's the thing, though. Like, podcasts aren't uploaded directly to Apple. They're, like, hosted, right? So if you wanted to be ad-free, Apple would have to come up with their own hosting platform directly instead of pulling from a RSS feed. And I don't know if that business model would work very well, because the only you guys are saying there are podcasts that are behind paywalls, but they're not very well known.
I can only think of
I'm
one.
guessing.
Their logo is orange, and it's kind of not a square logo. It's like more of a word. I can't remember what it is, but there was the orange podcast
Just Google that, everyone.
platform that you have to pay $4.99 a month for, and it was $4.99 a month, and
$4.99.
I looked, and they had a couple shows that I'd like vaguely heard of, but like nothing exciting, and I don't really remember what their value proposition was. And that was when I was trying to set up our shows on all the different pod feeders that are just, scraping it off iTunes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's what I can say on record, and Nick will probably cut this part out if he disagrees with me, but I would...
It's like, leave it in.
And those are my
So this
thoughts.
is how you solve world hunger.
I don't... And there you go.
That was a great point, Randy.
Thank you. I don't think I don't feel comfortable personally going behind a paywall exclusively. I think if we were ever approached in some fantasy world where Apple's like, come be an exclusive with us, I would feel more comfortable like doing additional content. But I feel like the foundational stuff should remain as is, where there's an ad-free version if you go on YouTube and you have premium. But if not, it doesn't hurt us regardless, because we still receive our revenue effectively the same way, whether it's through the audio platform or through Google. And with Apple Podcast Plus or whatever they would call it, unless they approached us with some type of contract of saying that, like, hey, we want to do this deal and we're going to give you tens of hundreds of dollars instead of millions, like, hey, that's at that point it's kind of like, well,
Apple acquires Tailosive Podcasts for record $900 deal.
The biggest buyout of Tailosive history.
We're all partying. We've been sold. They're like, you just can't talk about future Apple products anymore.
What? Okay.
And we're just like, okay. So
we can't talk about leaks or rumors about future.
Have you never heard of Tailosive as a whole? Speculating is kind of a shtick.
That's probably why we would never get a contract through them, is because we talk too much about what they have.
But hey, Tailosive Space, Tailosive Movies,
everything
Tailosive
else.
Talks, Tailosive Main. I mean, all of the Tailosive podcasts.
Eevee will finally explode. You guys completely ignored Eevee.
There you go.
Just no Apple Car.
Oh, man.
I prefer not to.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
I prefer not to, but I am the boss. Chris Wallace is just like, but you could. You're the boss.
I would just say, as much as I would love the idea of a Apple Tailosive partnership in any form, no matter how minuscule it may be, I would not pay for a podcast service, and I don't think many people would, because of the skip button and how easy that is with commercials.
Exactly. And that's part of the reason. Drew. That's part of the reason why we're so comfortable running ads on these shows, because we know people. You hit that ad break. We have the little chime in there for you. You skip. If you have it set to the 30-second button, it's like, I don't know, 6 or 8 clicks, and then you're through all of the ads. Right. As a podcaster, it's a sustainable business model for us, where it's worth our time to sit down and record once a week for an hour and a half, and then me spend 5 hours editing and uploading everything. That's a sustainable business model, but yet it's also not a huge impact on you guys. You just push that skip button a couple times.
Same with YouTube sponsors.
I know there are some people who would want to pay that $4.99 or $9.99 a month or whatever Apple's going to charge for it, but honestly, I don't think the number of those people who are willing to pay that much for a subscription service, minus whatever Apple's cut is, would ever amount to the amount of money that we're making just on regular ads right now. Now, we're not making a ton of money, but I don't think that a smaller percentage of people paying a larger amount of money would make up for a larger number of people.
So it would have to be
ads.
exclusive.
So
that's really the only.
If it was exclusive, then Apple would just we'd have to come up with an assured payment method, where Apple's like, we'll pay you $1,000 a year or whatever it is, because we don't do anything.
That's what's confusing to me about the report, is I don't understand how you could do the YouTube approach where it's like, okay, all the podcasts are still available for free with ads, but now there's a service we're building that allows you to upload no ads behind a paywall. No one signs up for it because you can just skip the ads very simply, and that's what people do already. So instead, we pull the TV Plus approach and just have a bunch of podcasts and shows that are not available for free.
We would do an Apple original. Apple, if you need someone to go around and interview all of your executives on decision process behind
that's an exclusive I would do. I would do an
That's a show I would
Apple
love
original,
to do.
But I don't know. Maybe
I don't think it would do that well.
Maybe it's pessimistic of me, but what do they need us for?
Well, I can't think of
because I'm famous and I was in their ad, right?
I can't think of a large demographic of people that would be like, oh, I have to subscribe now because I want to get shows that I can't get elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like that podcast model is never very popular. Maybe Apple could make it popular, because I also don't get Fitness Plus, but they seem to be doing that. So the main thing is,
well, part of the thing with Fitness Plus is anyone that I'm friends with on Activity, anytime they finish a Fitness Plus workout, I get a notification. But ding,
with a join button.
Grant or Lincoln or whoever finished a
You'll
Fitness
never
Plus
see Randy's name come up, Nick.
No, mine neither.
I know. And you'll never see mine either, because I don't exercise anymore. It's great.
What they really want is just a little tab at the bottom here.
Yeah.
For just Podcast Plus shows, so that every time you open the podcast app, they can have a little pop-up that says, thousands of high quality shows. I mean, couldn't this just be like a rebranded Apple News Plus audio version?
Yeah.
Isn't that basically what they're describing?
I'm poking around in the app now. Now I'm just kind of seeing what I could see. I could absolutely see a little tab down there that says, plus.
Get up to 10 exclusive shows.
10.
It might be a bit of an over. There might be a lot of crossover and bleed through that happens on all this. But if they want to do a paid subscription model that would fall under the Apple One plan, I think Apple One should have its own app. So I know because how are they going to push ads to you about, hey, check this out, but I would go onto the app if I was, I'm not even though that's not our strategy. I know, like you were saying, there are people who tell us, hey, I use this stuff and it works. So if I was in that mindset, if I'm a paid subscriber or something, even for iCloud, if they had a dedicated app that I can go to manage my subscriptions and kind of
settings.
Yeah.
Settings Plus.
Yeah. I think Settings Plus would be a great. You get access to all. No, seriously.
But it needs
you
to
get
be
access.
lossless phone plus.
The camera manual feature, like changing the resolution and frame rate.
Yeah.
That's behind a paywall.
Camera plus.
Exactly. Well, and then Settings Plus could have all of those little Android tweaks that everyone likes. That
do you want your live photos to be more Harry Potter?
You can jailbreak your iPhone legally if you have Settings Plus.
If you can,
yes, totally.
I love it. If you do you want your live photos to animate for you like you're in a Harry Potter movie? Photos Plus.
No.
There you go.
This is so terrible. I
I
don't like this Apple.
And they could do Maps Plus if you want to get somewhere quicker. If you have Maps Plus, it gives you the most direct route. If you don't have Maps Plus, it sends you around town a few times.
They
It's
push you towards
Uber
the most
Pool
traffic
version of
congested
Maps.
route on the free version of Maps. And there's also ads right before your exit comes up. It's like turn right in. Try Apple TV Plus, and then an ad pops up on the directions.
And then you're like, where am I going? Tell me left or right. My blood pressure is raising. Let me check the health app in Health Plus.
Health Plus. Apple's getting in the healthcare industry.
Oh, did you want to know if you're going to die? Our Apple Watch knows if you're going to die or not.
I need to record a memo really quickly. Let me go to Voice Memos Plus for that high quality. Remind myself to make a new intro music. Boop.
Yeah, Voice Memos Plus has unlimited recording, but regular Voice Memos is limited to 60 seconds. I can't find all my
iPhones. I need to go to Find My Plus.
Find My Plus. I'm not a fan of this new Apple. This is what I have less interest in, is just how many services can we come up with?
Well, no, not only how many services can they invent, how many existing items can they put behind a paywall?
Yeah, what if we started creating things that used to be free and put them behind a paywall?
Hey, can I get that phone number that you sent me? Sure, let me go through Contacts Plus really quickly. And
Contacts Plus.
You can only have 10 contacts and contacts minus.
This is how iMessage would be a paid subscription at that point.
You only have 250 texts on messages minus.
Mm-hmm. And the screen animations and the effects and everything.
They just say sent
Imagine
with.
having a FaceTime call that doesn't lag. FaceTime Plus.
That might be
if
worth
you don't
it
have
for us.
FaceTime Plus, they just down throttle the FaceTime connection to be
everything's
144p.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they make your AirPods switch like crazy.
AirPods Plus.
They won't stay connected. See, Apple, we are filled with good ideas. You have to sign a contract with us.
You have to.
Exactly.
Oh, man,
Apple is likely to do at least one of our crazy ideas in this episode within the next 10 years. I guarantee you. They will do at least
I will guarantee that.
Vague, maybe not exactly what we said, but something like that.
We need to send you an authentication for you to sign in, your two-factor authentication. We emailed you, so you need to go to Mail Plus to take a look at that authentication code so you can sign into your iCloud. Mail Plus, Safari
Security
Plus. Safari Plus gives you...
Safari Plus. Tor browsers?
I don't know. And then when you go onto the Mac site, I need to look at something. Go to Finder Plus.
Finder Plus. It's like, sorry, you can't transfer
Literally
storage
every
that's
app.
larger than 10 gigabytes.
No app is
Every
safe.
No app is safe.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you wanted to write that down? You're going to have to write that down in Notes Plus if you really want to get it down quickly.
Audio MDI setup plus.
Yes.
But yet somehow GarageBand is still free. Huh.
Yeah, GarageBand is fine. There's no.
And it's come pre-installed, so, you know.
Maybe this is how they get everything cheaper.
Font book plus
iPhones
chess
cost nothing.
plus.
You could get an iPhone for free, but like every app requires a service. And that's how they get their money back.
I can see that. It's like the literal inverse of how it used to be. You bought the hardware
That
and
will
the
be
software
the day
was free.
I leave Apple.
You'll go to
What would you switch to,
the
Randy?
log cabin in the woods.
Literally anything else that doesn't do that.
Anything else?
Would you switch to one of these?
That is disgusting.
What the heck?
That is disgusting.
Why?
Get off my show.
Get off.
Get off my show. That is disgusting. Nick, get that out of here.
I think you're gonna need a little doggy bag if you bring crap around like that.
What do you mean?
Hey, Drew.
This is the best design phone
Drew,
ever.
do you smell this
Look
BS
at- look
that's
at-
going around?
Look at these bezels, though. Look at that. Oh, it's
Okay,
gorgeous.
Nick,
Okay.
genuine question. What the? What's wrong with you?
I have a lot of questions. Like, how dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? First of all, hold on, before you go on this rampage of this, because I'm about to rip you up, Drew, I want to tell you something funny. A couple nights ago, I did a late night, not late night, I did a music stream that bled into the late night, but I started pretty early. Nick went out of his way to come into my stream at the very beginning on the offset with like 5 minutes in. Hey man, can't stick around. I'm hanging out. I'm talking on the other line with my best buddy, and then Scott comes in the chat. I wonder who that could be. And I go, you went out of your way to come into my stream to tell me that you can't stay in my stream just so you can flex on me that I got more friends you know. Get that off of my stream and get out of here. And that's what
I
he's been
hope
doing.
you know, Randy, that I
too,
saw
Randy.
you were live, but I was busy and I could not join, so I chose to not say anything in the chat.
Like a real friend. You say it behind my back. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tuned in for a few minutes, but I was like, I'm not going to be able to stay long, so if I write a message and then you answer it later and I'm not here, I can't deal with that, so I'm just not going to say anything.
No, Nick didn't even stick around and wait for my response. He just goes, hey, man, can't stick around. I'm on the other line talking to my best buddy. I got other friends, you know, and then he leaves.
The fact that you say that means he's now going to do that every time, intentionally.
Yes,
That's
that is
okay. He's
now
no
my
longer a
shtick.
mod. I demoted him. He's not a mod anymore. You're fired.
Might as
You're
well
fired.
Whoa, ouch.
Nicholas
Okay.
S. Sweeney,
I haven't
you're
checked,
fired.
so-
Nick, tell me why you bought
I was never
that
hired.
piece of poop,
Oh, I didn't buy it.
or have that
No,
piece
no.
of poop.
This piece of poop was found
Doggy
in a
bag.
box,
Bring
so
crap around like that.
I figured I'd bring it on the show. It does work.
What?
I thought about chucking it out of the window.
found
but
it?
Then I thought, yeah, in a
You're
box.
Where?
Where?
Where was it located?
In an alley?
You just went
Where
down
else
an
would you
alley and there
find
was a box?
You don't have
With an
alleys
OG
where you
pixel?
live. I've seen where you live.
No, I found it behind your house, Randy.
An alley
Bull.
would require
Pretty
two
sure-
buildings to be next to
Bull.
each other.
Even San
Which is not a
Diego
thing.
has standards.
Standards.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me.
Why does it exist?
No, yeah, it was a box that my uncle had bought this a while ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was at my grandparents' house in a box, just collecting dust. So
I feel bad for
rescued
your
it.
uncle.
Wow, you're such a
I know.
minimalist, Nicholas.
He didn't use it very much. This is in great condition.
Does it take good pictures?
I haven't even checked.
You're such a minimalist.
Yes.
That's the only pixel to not have a camera bump.
My uncle has a box lying around, so I took it from him. Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a minimalist.
I took it from him so I can properly dispose of it.
Bull.
Obviously.
It's like the
Bull.
ring of power, and you took the ring so you could
Yes.
throw it in.
Exactly. And I knew that this discussion would be
It's
fun.
a good
So that's
ring.
really why I
I can't
did
do.
it.
I can't do.
It's great.
I can't do his voice. I used
Why
to
don't we
do it.
just go all in on Android?
Oh, maybe Drew and I should go all in on
We'll
Android.
just have a whole Android podcast.
We'll have our own green bubble conversations without you,
Oh,
Randy.
God. I feel like Superman around kryptonite.
Oh, I know. Just picking up this Android phone reminded me of, speaking of bad security, I haven't talked about this publicly. This is a podcast exclusive.
Take that, Apple.
Woo.
You guys are going to hate me for this.
Oh, no.
Get ready to no longer be friends.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
I joined TikTok.
Oh man, I really can't be friends with you now.
I know.
Now all of the governments are going to be looking at everything
It's
you
been
say
fun.
now. For
It's been fun, guys. It's been real. I'm glad we had that time together, but I know we can't be friends anymore.
Thank you for bringing me to your wedding, but I'm done with this. I'm out. I can't. Not worth it. You know, iOS,
I haven't danced yet.
iOS widgets with the photos just last night was like, hey, here's a picture of Luis and her dad walking down an ashy trail. It's like, thanks, Apple.
Thanks, Apple.
I looked at the photo and I immediately went, oh, that was weird.
I also want on the record to talk about my experience with it because
No.
you don't have to be an expert to know how bad security is with TikTok.
No.
Because I actually started an account, I think, 2 years ago when it first started.
No.
Just because it wasn't...
Was that back
I
under
didn't-
Musical.ly or whatever?
Maybe. I can't remember. I just know I wasn't in this house. I know it was that long ago. It was like years ago. And basically it was picking up traction and more people were using it. And what I'll do on a lot of platforms is just join it with the Taylosive name so that no one else will take it and then do nothing with it. So that's what I did. And then I decided, this is my work phone. I put all social media on here and I don't put anything on here. So I joined it and I was trying to figure out what my password was for that old account. Because I hadn't used it in so long and I only used so many passwords. And I was trying all my different passwords and then it was like, forgot your password, like factory reset by, giving us your phone number or whatever. So I put in my phone number and everything. It logs me in to some random guy's account.
Whoa.
Who hadn't been active in a long time. But it was like, okay, here's your password reset. You are now enabled. So I got into somebody's... I'm not going to say who it was.
Was it your new phone number?
Yeah.
Interesting. That is so broken.
It is extremely broken because I remember logging in and it was this different name that wasn't Taylosive with a different profile picture and following different people. And I was just like, did I just hack someone's account on accident? Did TikTok set up a security measure that just says anyone with that phone number can log in? And that guy had my new phone number? Either way.
Oh, whoever has your new phone number or old phone number.
He was not an active user. He hadn't logged in months or a year, I think, or something. He was not he didn't post anything, but I just logged in and I was like, this is not mine. And yet TikTok is like, here you go. Here's your account. So I logged it out of all devices and then deactivated the whole account. I just deleted it because I was like, the fact that that's even possible is sketchy. So I don't want... And that guy was clearly not using it. I looked into the security settings and stuff, and it was like last login or last active device registered was 2019 or something. So I knew it wasn't like a recurring like active user, but he was following like 5 people. I don't think he'll be that upset if he tries to get back in. But I deactivated it.
So sorry, Greg, if you're trying to log into your
whoever
TikTok,
that guy was.
Drew deactivated it for you.
But I just thought, how sketchy is that?
I can't believe that.
That they let you log into some random person's account just through the phone number backup thing. I was very surprised that is even possible. But yeah, I don't like it very much.
So does that mean you're staying up? What are you doing on TikTok? What's wrong with you?
I wanted to post a few clips. I was like, I think I was scrolling through the App Store and it was like top video platforms and I was seeing how high TikTok was compared to all the other platforms and I was like, I should probably just post random stuff there anyway, just so that no one else is doing it under my name. It's probably what was going to happen and eventually was someone creates Taylosive Tech and then starts posting a bunch of TikToks of my videos. So I'd rather have access to all that anyway.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, I don't browse it or anything. I basically just every once in a while I'll upload something to it and then it stays on the Android. But
I,
that was my crazy cybersecurity experience
you
using
know,
TikTok for like 20 minutes.
that is. I've never once like. I want to like TikTok. I have no interest, even outside the
I
whole
don't either.
outside the whole security stuff. I have no interest. The fact that I was, I know about the security stuff. Like, I rather not have AIDS on my phone. Because that's how you get AIDS on your phone. It's like using LimeWire back in the day to download music. Like that's how you destroy your computer. That's how you corrupt everything. And
is that what happened? I just thought it was something else that happened. But
it's good to have on your your
AIDS.
backup trash device. This is my if ransomware took over this phone and said like I will explode if you don't send me $1, I'd be like, okay, explode.
yeah, darn.
That's all
See,
right.
that's the thing. I don't have a crappy Android phone like that.
Burner phone. That's
I don't
what
have a
it's
burner
called.
phone. Everything. My burner phones are all still tied to iCloud. So
Yeah,
your burner
this
phones
is
are
my-
iPhones. You're like, oh, iPhone 10R, iPhone 11 Pro, burner phones for Randy.
Yeah.
Randy's over there being Mr. Bougie.
yeah.
This is my pure
It's a
device.
beautiful phone, though.
I keep it clean.
This is more than purity. Oh, look at this. It's so beautiful. I love
work
this
apps.
phone. Thank
Just-
you guys for convincing me to get a
just
12 mini.
personal
I was
stuff.
talking to someone who just got a 12 Pro Max. And
Whoa.
he was like, "Man, this is huge and the battery life is great." And I'm like, "Yeah, but mini, so much better." And every time I look at this phone, I cry a little.
I'm still rocking
'Cause I
the
almost didn't
wallpaper,
get
Nick.
it. And it's so perfect. Aw, Randy's still rocking the wallpaper.
Yeah, that's a
See, I took that picture, everyone. I took this.
Very
I'm
good.
very happy.
for narcissistic reasons. I'm rocking the wallpaper because I'm like, yep, that's San Diego.
That is San Diego.
It kind of looks like the iOS 9 wallpaper.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that. Remember, there was a beta. There was like some beta picture. I think it was beta of iOS 9, but it was like a tube or whatever that wave is called, like a tube wave, and you're like in it, looking out.
Into two.
I definitely had those vibes while I was editing that picture. It's like iOS 9 beta.
I like changing my
What's that?
wallpaper a lot. Probably more
You
than
do.
I
Interesting.
should.
I used to not
change it
change it at all
regularly.
back when I had my custom wallpaper home screen with the apps all at the bottom. I never changed that. I had it for 2 years almost.
Yeah.
But I've been changing about once every 3 months now.
I hope they keep making the 12 mini.
Don't say that, Drew. I love this phone. Look,
There's
it
a lot
fits
of-
the wallet perfectly. Look at that. The wallet is
I know.
just the
I love it
perfect
too.
size.
It's just the numbers aren't looking great so far. So
The
I'm
numbers
nervous.
aren't looking great for you, Drew. They look fine for me. Stop being so
That's not how
pessimistic.
numbers work, Nick.
Seems
I
like
should know,
everyone
I'm an
who got the
accountant.
mini loves it, but just not that many people got it. But everyone
So go
who did
get a
is so
mini,
happy
everyone.
with
Stop getting the pros. Come on.
it. Yeah,
Listen.
that's what we got to convince people to do. Just
If Jonathan Morrison and Peter McKinnon can do minis and promote that, and here we are
Exactly.
promoting, I feel like there's enough people. I mean, there's going to be an iPhone 13 mini or 12s mini or something, right?
I don't know. Maybe not.
I hope.
I mean, probably, but I'm
if
talking
they don't,
more
I
like
guess I'm not going to lose
next
sleep
year.
over it because I'm sticking with this one regardless. So
That'll just give you even more incentive to not upgrade if they stop making them.
I know how much you love the refresh rate, thing, but I'm so indifferent about it.
If they'll probably do a S mini. I doubt they would just do it for 1 year and then stop at the next. But if future iPhone comes out a mini again and it's still not selling great, a great theory I saw brought up a lot about why the mini might have not sold well is everybody who cares about smaller, more affordable iPhones got the SE 2 that year.
True.
So by the time the 12 mini came out, everybody kind of got their fix for those who want more tradition or more not as flashy phones. And SE was at the time the smallest iPhone, not anymore. But by the time the 12 mini had launched, everybody had kind of gotten on the SE train. So that's a decent running theory I've seen. Maybe it'll change next year if there's no new SE. And it's just like, oh, here's the Mini again, but with LiDAR and a bigger battery or whatever. Maybe that'll persuade someone. But I'm hoping that even if the market for it is small, Apple can keep catering to it, because sometimes they like catering to smaller demographics.
I would be appreciative. I mean, I think as long as we've been doing the show, I've been the guy saying like I want the small iPhone. I miss it, and I'm in my happy place now. I just look at it and I'm like, this is art. This is not just tech. This is genuine art, and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
And I'm not even art in the sense of like the aesthetics of what we can see on the outside, but like what you had to do to make this work with all the stuff that's in there. That within itself is artistic, and you know what it reminds me of in a small sense is like the original Macintosh, and Steve Jobs had all these like high demands. Like I want it to be the size of a phone book, and it needs to have all the stuff in there, and I want to be able to move around it with putting the cursor on my jeans, and it works just fine. Like that's at the time, like that's a big order, and they found a way to make it work, and therefore that's why all those people signed it, because it was like art to them of pulling that off. I get in the same context, I get the same vibe with being able to do. It's easy to take the bigger form factor and throw everything at you have at it, and I'm glad that's what they did with the 12 Pro Max. I'm glad that they gave you the best camera sensor they could do for the year. I'm glad that they gave you the best battery and raw photos and video and 65. I'm glad all that exists for them, or for that particular model.
I'm not glad. Gosh darn it! Stop it!
No, it's
keep the Mini, everyone. Save the Mini. Hashtag save the Mini.
Give praise where praise is due. That like people, if you're gonna spend that type of money, don't you dare hold back. I will like boycott you almost. But they didn't. They well, I wouldn't do it because I'm not interested in it. But like still, like the fact that they did do that, and you're paying that premium price for it, good. And on the polar opposite of that, in complete contrast, getting the smallest form factor with the lowest amount of money and still having so much, 90% of that stuff roll over, is amazing. Like, wow, I'm so impressed. So I'm happy. I'm good.
I'm just confused why the 12 Pro is doing so well. That's what I don't get.
The color? No, I don't know.
That might be it. I think that's a better argument. I would not believe someone if they just said, well, 12 Pro is doing well because it has the telephoto lens and LiDAR, and that's what a lot of people care about. I'm like, no. We've had best-selling iPhones the past couple of years are the ones that ditched OLED and ditched telephoto in favor of one camera or ultra-wide, but not telephoto. And the 11 Pro and the regular 10s were like the worst selling iPhone of the three for the past couple of years. So why all of a sudden the 12 Pro is surging? Yeah, I feel like there might be some truth to the idea that people are just like, when they're buying a new phone, they see Pro and instantly are just like, oh, that one must be much better. So I'm getting that one. And they don't really know what's better. They just think, oh, it must be. I bet the battery life is way better because it's a Pro.
I found this technique. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I promise it's off subject.
All right. I think a lot of people who are only upgrading once every 4 years are looking at the Mini and saying, this isn't going to last me 4 years. And they look at the Pro and they think it's going to last me. And I think it's a very privileged place to be in, where I can say, yes, the Mini's the perfect phone right now, because I know within 6 months I could be in the market for a new one. I don't think I will be, because this is a great phone. But when I made that decision, I was like, yeah, it's only 10 months. I think that was what Randy said. It's only 10 months till the new one. So if you don't like it, it's not that long of a wait. So
right. Even less now.
More people should get it. It should exist.
8 months to go.
Wow.
I'm confident in saying if there's no 120 hertz, I will keep it another year. Very confident on that one.
So the little ring thing on the case here, the Apple thing, I found that just using the reverse side of it and putting it up to my phone still gives me the little animation of
that's the NFC thing.
Whoa, there it goes. And I was like, that's cool. That's it. Not everything I have to say has to be gems. I just wanted to share what I'm thinking. So, Nick.
I got to play around with the MagSafe wallet last week too.
I'm sorry. No,
I'm very sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
This thing fell apart way quicker than I was expecting, but it's still holding together. What were you gonna say, Randy?
I wanted to comment on the upgrade for the within the 10 months thing and people who went with the phone. I feel like I actually feel like in the reverse order of that people who know that they're going to upgrade their phone every year regardless, and they know it's a small cycle all the same, and they treat it like it's a service that they're going to do the upgrade program, and they turn it in. I kind of feel like more people would be getting the higher end iPhone because they're not going to keep it as long and they're going to upgrade it. And I feel like maybe that's why that could be a factor as to people who went with Pro Max or Pro. Well, it's only 10 months as opposed to 12, and I'm paying more, but it's less months. And I can see them making that argument in their head. So I'll try the bigger one since I'm not going to be paying as much as I would have if it was for a whole year. And in that sense, if they're just going to trade in their phone every year regardless, it's more enticing to just get the best of the best for a smaller period of time than, getting 11 or 10R and then still have to wait a year. And that was all, it's like all of it. No, none of us thought like we had to remember that like even Apple, like nobody wanted it to go this way, but the world made it and caused it to go this way. Like they would have released this sooner if they could have. I think people would have. I wonder had when we not had the pandemic, would we had different numbers show up? Because it's fair to say that we would have AirTags right now. I would assume as well, and it's fair to say I think we would have a few more things that were held off on sooner, whether it be AirPods Max or something. And I wonder, in the whole experience, does that affect the base of it all, which is iPhone, and if so, which one? I feel personally, had this been a normal year, whatever that's like now, I don't know what that is, but had we had a 12-month cycle and things dropped in September, I feel that maybe iPhone 12 would have been the best seller out of all of them, because
I think it is.
Is it still the best seller, not the Pro?
Yeah, I think it's just 12 Pro is doing better than they thought 12 Mini is doing worse.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that the Apple after 10R, Apple really figured out, oh, this is what it is, and they just punched in on that group right there.
Yeah.
You have the extremists for the people who want the best of the best, and then you have the neurotic people like me who want the smallest and the whatever, and then everybody who's normal, again, whatever that is, here's that phone. And I think, I'll tell you what, Drew, I didn't know that. I think if that's the case, I think 12 Pro would have always done the same then, maybe. Because I feel like they're so close. Like
that's what I don't get. Maybe.
Well, that's what you're saying, Drew.
Maybe
I think
they expected
the
12 Pro to do worse because it's so similar. They were not. It's a theory in my head because we don't know the actual numbers. We're just hearing from supply chains what orders are being increased and decreased. And my guess is that the 12 Pro orders were extremely low because Apple was like, okay, we can't get promotion. We can't get much we can't get the 2.5x telephoto. We can't get the sensor shift stabilization. So 12 Pro and 12 are really similar. Let's barely order any 12 Pros because it's probably not going to do very well. And then bulk of orders go towards 12 and 12 Mini. So maybe they were just anticipating the Mini to do great, and the fact that it didn't means that, it's not meeting demand. But that was similar stories we were getting to the 10. Apple was decreasing orders after the 10 came out. It was still one of the best-selling phones on the market, but there were all these news stories and headlines saying, iPhone 10 isn't selling that well, it's doing terrible. It's like, well, it's still one of the greatest phones being sold globally, but it's not as great as Apple thought. So orders were decreased. And I think maybe something similar could have happened with the 12 Minis. They were like, oh, this is so cheap, and there's so many people who want a smaller phone. I bet it's going to sell great. And then everybody went, I don't want a small phone, actually. I think I want to go big, or that's too small, or it doesn't play on the nostalgia as well as they were hoping. They were, or like other people said, they were more attached to the SE because when they go nostalgia and when people want a phone that's like their old phone, they prefer Touch ID, they prefer the home button, and they also like the $399 price. Whereas this is like flagship price, but nostalgia design and nostalgia battery life, and that kind of, now we have
battery life.
Oh yeah, very nostalgic battery life. I'm sitting there.
This is how long our batteries
sitting next
used
to the
to
wall
last.
outlet. Hello, can you hear me?
Back in
Can you
my
hear me?
day,
yeah.
this
Yeah,
is the
back in my
best
day.
you could do.
Battery life is only an issue when I'm traveling, I've noticed. Because we did our quarantine trip where we were like at home for 2 weeks, and then our friends were at home for 2 weeks, and then we met up and went on a hike and stuff. But on the days when I was driving around with maps and taking pictures and stuff, that's when I was like, oh dang, I need to charge soon. But when I'm just around the house, it's perfectly fine.
Do you think also, because I remember hearing this a few times, and I'm inclined to believe it myself, that so November, December, January, we're still only 2 months into this phone, and maybe during its whole campaign of the whole year, it will the non-pro models will actually end up doing better in the long term than the short term, because all the enthusiasts and the people who really want it and know that they want it are the first ones to buy, as people who are kind of waiting for that 24-month mark or something, or whatever they're waiting on, where they can do an upgrade of their own. Because I also got to remember that, like, we enact our stuff through Apple, but there are so many people who will go through their carriers and go that way.
That's true.
And they might wait that stuff out too, and that is just as valid of a waiting process as it is like with Apple. And then you got other people who go to Best Buy and they want to buy it at Best Buy instead because of the deal. Or, there's different areas of where these phones are being pushed. It's not just at an Apple store, and maybe long term the non-Pro series will end up doing better. Maybe Mini will have a better story on the outcome, or maybe not. And the funny part is, I don't think we'll ever really know, because they don't release those numbers.
It's hard to
anymore.
know. It makes sense, though. I would understand why. I mean, for one, 12 Pro has been out longer than the 12 Mini, so it's been out and about for a little bit longer. But also, the people who would be interested in the Mini are probably not the kind of pre-order iPhones and get them right away. They're the kind to kind of upgrade throughout the year, who don't really know. They're in like August, and they're like, I should get a new iPhone. And then there's a huge demographic every year that buys all their iPhones in August.
I literally cannot go into an Apple store in August. It's just too painful. Some grandpa's coming in there.
Depressing.
Yeah, I'd like to get a new iPhone. And the specialist's like, of course. Would you like the iPhone 12 or 12 Pro? And I'm like, no.
I like thinking about who's buying Intel Mac Pros right now.
Oh my, there's probably
imagine buying that like right now.
They're actually probably
you buy
negative
one.
people. They're just returning them and exchanging them
them,
and getting their money back somehow. Oh, man,
it's like I wish I could just go out and tell them, just be like, please
please
do
don't. Just wait.
People who are buying Intel Mac Pros right now, I kind of feel like they should know that they know better.
Or the iMac Pro. They still sell that.
Or any Mac for that matter at this point, it feels
any
like.
Mac with Intel that you're buying right now.
The fact that we have that, I saw your little tweet, Drew, and I think about it, it's like the fact that you like, do I want to wait for an LTE? No, I don't want to wait.
I don't need to. My carrier wouldn't provide much hotspot anyway, but I don't go out and about. Makes sense to not release a cellular MacBook this year. Maybe wait till a little post-pandemic sets in, but at this point, it's kind of the same argument.
5G MacBook 5G. I can see that.
5G. Yeah,
I see it
they'll
coming.
do it. Do we have closing thoughts?
I do,
James?
actually. I have a big closing thought.
Go ahead.
I'm sure the video watchers have noticed me looking to the side here at my MacBook. I've been running the numbers on Visible. I have an answer.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaving Verizon for Verizon Zone, a fully owned network in VNO.
Wow, that's it.
So,
not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. I just did all the math on a little spreadsheet here. I'm gonna lose a few credits that we have on our bill because Visible doesn't offer like military service credits and all that fun stuff. But the prices are almost half. When you get 4 people together,
wow.
I have 6 people in my family. When you have at least 4 people together, the bill's only $25 per line. $25 per line. I'm paying $50 right now. And I'm like, oh, wow. Ooh. So that in and of itself is great.
You don't use hotspot that much?
I'm going to lose. Hotspot is 5 megabits per second, which currently what I use a hotspot for, that should be fine. I haven't been using it much recently. I'm gonna have to keep my iPad on Verizon because Visible isn't allowing a.
So you're not leaving.
I'm leaving everything except for a $20 a month or $17 a month iPad. But what really
is it $17 a month with no other lines?
I don't know if it's with no other lines. I'm gonna have to look at that. But even if it's, even if it is,
curious.
Yeah. Anyway, all that to say though, what really got me noticing though is they give you $100 credit for each device that you bring. So any device that you switch with, if you bring your own phone, they give you $100 MasterCard prepaid gift card, basically.
Whoa!
So that's
you're gonna get like $600.
That's like
we need to see some fine print.
I know. I'm gonna have to do.
That sounds too good to be.
I glanced at the fine print and it looks to be legit. So anyway,
per device. It's not like if you bring one.
So
not per account.
So it's not per account. Everyone has their own account.
Oh. Well,
but you all get together in like a little group, and that's how you get the cheaper plan. So I don't know. I took a second look at Visible. I'm very happy I did because I think I'm switching to Visible now.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Randy.
All of your savings you can just direct towards me.
Let me just direct. See, what is it? The difference is $125 a month.
You can just pay for my Fitness Plus.
1 month of my savings would pay for your Fitness Plus.
1 month.
you could just start up Disney Plus again. I'll be okay. We'll call it.
Yay!
That's what you're looking for. Okay, that's all I am to you. No, guys.
I'll take
your Disney Plus.
I'll take Netflix if we're taking orders. I have a menu. I'll have Netflix with the side of HBO.
Hold the Dickerson, please. And that's what we talk, calling it, bringing it full circle.
Oh, man.
All right.
Have a great week.
Have a good one, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.